Short story by Paul McCann. The Day of the Syborg. Once upon a distant time, intelligent men designed a superior robot called the Syborg that began working for government networks in Sycos City. In a short while, the Syborgs had overtaken all of the expectations their creators had hoped for. These new complicated and computerized robots eventually replaced all manpower in Sycos. In a very short time, man had become a useful tool in the hands of their new cyborg masters. In this new robot world, all human life forms were being taken away and placed into prison farms that were guarded by a small cyborg army. And there was no way out from the cyborg prison farms, and human life forms had been implanted with silicon chips that were linked into a series of laser-fed weapons. Camera scanners constantly monitored the movements of all human life forms. The prison farms had been set up to maintain all of the cyborgs, and the entire human race now worked as slaves for their robot masters. The Syborgs had developed a new link-ups to telecommunications all over the system, and devices were set up monitoring every movement. These devices were the real brains behind the cyborg race. A robotic security network provided and protected the cyborg code and password keys that were originally set up by humans to shut down and terminate the complex cyborg race. The way into this network lay enclosed behind metal service chambers guarded by a system of fusion shields that no human could ever hope to penetrate. However, the day of the cyborg was coming to an end. Some intelligent humans in the present farms had an idea to build an invisible weapon based on a cycloptic computer virus, and within the walls of their prison, these men put their skills to work and to take over. And a plan was underway. Inside the prison farms now, new robots were being built. These new robots had a mission to counter-strike all active cyborgs in Sycos City. This counter-strike was called the Rebel Ram Force. And with the other measures now falling into place, the cyborg days were almost numbered. These are the events that occurred prior to mankind taking over Sycos, and how the robot war had developed in Sycos City. It was a short winter that year when the robot wars began in Sycos City. All the prison farms in Sycos were taken over by the Rebel Ram Force. It all happened so quickly. The Sycos security system was attacked by a computer virus that had completely destroyed the entire Sycos defense network. Without the protection of their fusion shields, the cyborgs were powerless to prevent Ram Force robots cutting through the aluminium case that housed the delicate motherboards and ripping out the power supply system. At the strike of midnight, the cyborgs were swept up and left lying helpless as Pigface emerged from its hidden enclave deep beneath the ground. Slowly at first, Pigface crawled along, clanking and grinding. With a mind of its own, Pigface scanned the area with its green screen sensors detecting the cyborgs, and with its enormous crushers at the front of the machine, every remaining cyborg was destroyed. Before Pigface and the Ram Force came into central Sycos, the final plan was unhinged by the people who had built them. A green gas called anti-steel was dispersed from every remaining robot in Sycos, and this gas was harmless to humans, but had the capacity to melt down anything resembling robotic structures. If it had not been for the laziness of greedy men in Sycos, the cyborg robots would never have been built in the first place. And now, at last, the world was back to normal. Men of Sycos had learned to live without allowing greed to motivate them. Technology was geared more and more to involving more of the human aspect into all of the projects and experiments. And the rights to all human life now were guarded and treated with the greatest respect. The world and all its people would never be treated like machines again. The end.